What's up, people? What's up, people? What's up, people? It is your boy MM2K, and I'm back here with your other host, Project Storm. Storm, how you doing today, man?
I think I'm all right, man. I think I'm okay. I have some concerns. We're gonna get right into them, but overall, I think I'm all right, man. I think I'm okay.
You think you all right? Yeah.
I think I'm okay, man. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna break things down today. I will be honest, and that's where I'm gonna leave it right now for the intro. But what's going on, chat? What's going on? How's everybody else out here feeling? I got a feeling that we're gonna have a lot of honesty out here, a lot of integrity and stuff out here, you know. So, yeah, I'm ready to do it.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is episode 71 of SSC Podcast. That is the weekly show where Project Storm and we talk all things Stadia. This is a PNTS Network show. And as if you have been living under a rock or you haven't been checking out our content, you know that we're going through a big makeover start kicking off sometime next week with the website and some other things. We got our clan coming and a bunch of stuff. And we got some giveaways. We're going to be giving away, matter of fact, we're going to be giving away a lot of codes. Maybe we'll give them all the way next week. Maybe not. But we're going to be giving away a lot of codes on behalf of PNTS Network. So just so you guys are aware, the network covers all things gaming. So they may not necessarily all, be Stadia codes or whatever. I think we got some Stadia codes, but we got a variety of codes that we're going to be giving out for those that are kicking it with us while we're doing the new rollout. In addition to that, definitely we're going to have new partners coming to the channel starting next week as well. So definitely tune in to all of that. Also do us a huge favor. Let everybody know that we're live, man. Let everybody know that we're live. We're ready to go. We're ready to have some grown-up conversations, as Storm said, man. We got to have we got to talk about some integrity. You know what I mean? With that said, let's get right into it. Let's first talk about what we've been playing since the last show. Storm, if you want to kick it off, what you been playing since last episode?
Getting deeper into that control, man. Got some dope weaponry that I just can't do without. It's amazing how this game, like, there's so many things you could do in control that I just can't. I never thought imaginable, man. Like, I was in front of this projector. Like, here's an example today when in the stream that I did, or right before I went live with that stream, I was in front of this projector. You know how they had they have random projectors and TVs in the map, throughout the map or whatever, right?
Yep.
So I would go in this room. I'm standing in front of the projector. I knew my shadows I knew they were gonna be real time. What I didn't expect to do was knock the projector over. So I knocked the projector over on the floor. It shined on a whole different wall than it was supposed to be real time.
Oh
I
wow.
stand in front of it. My shadows and everything were realistic. Oh, it was just crazy. Little stuff
Mm.
like that blows my mind, man.
Yeah.
Not to mention the fact that the gunplay and everything feels so
Oh
good in the
yeah. Oh
cloud. You
yeah.
know, I just chopped that
Absolutely.
video up a little bit, less than 3 hours ago. So do check that out if you want to see how Control performs on Stadia. But MM2K, I tried all of these pro games that just dropped today. We're gonna get into all of them. I've also been on PC. I tried to boot up ARK on PC and Darksiders as well. I think I just got Darksiders 2 on Epic
Okay.
Games or whatever, man. So I know that I think I have it installed, but something weird with my PC keeps happening, man, or my hard drive or something like that, where it didn't recognize the games that I had installed, and I know I had the games installed. So trying to figure that out.
Yeah.
So other than that, man, played a little bit of I've been playing a lot more Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, played that on the Xbox Series X. Just been bouncing around different games or whatever, Destiny 2 whenever I can. But that's pretty much it that I could think about right off the top of my head, man.
Yeah. 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 I mean, it's the summer, and during the summer, a lot of people like to go through their back catalog. I have yet to do that. I've been so addicted. Hey, look, I've been so addicted to Madden 21 still, and I'm going to get into 22. But here's what I did the other night. I was up till 3 a.m. reorganizing my roster, making trades, Storm. Because remember, I told you I was over the salary cap and I couldn't hardly get nobody. So
Mhm.
I said, to hell with it. I looked at all of my high salary people, got rid of them, got people that were just as good. That's one thing with Madden. When you're playing the season, if you want to have money for the cap, just go and you got somebody that's making $97 billion over 3 months. Get rid of that fool, man. You'll find somebody comparable, you know what I'm saying, at a lot lower price. So I did a lot of that, man, and I was up till 3 a.m. reorganizing my whole lineup. And now my team went from like an 80 to a 91 because all the stuff that I was doing. So I'm addicted to that now. But I'm gonna get into Madden 22. So I've been playing a lot of Madden, mainly. Been playing some Division. Me and Storm, we talked about it on SML podcast, the setup as he calls it. My brother tried to hop in one of the MM2K grind games, man. He realized it was real out here, man. We had the challenge up to as far as it could go. And there also was a difficulty multiplier because there was a global event going on. So it was crazy stuff. I recorded it. It's on Stadia Dosage streams or Stadia Dosage Plus over at Twitch. So definitely check that out. I haven't played any Control, which shame on me. I need to get back into that game, definitely. I'm glad you reminded me, Storm. What else did I play? I can't remember. I'm drawing a blank, but one game that I do know that I played that you'll hear about later today from me and my our good friends over that are members of this platform. You'll get to see it later. Is my gameplay right before we went live of Darksiders 2. So I got some thoughts on that. We're definitely gonna have a grown-up conversation on that. So that's basically been it for me, man. So that's what's up. Hey, Storm, before we get started, before we get lost in the sauce and get lost in this conversation, can you shout out the chat real quick, brother?
Yes, sir. I said that I played Call of Duty on the Series X, but I played it on the PC. I mixed it up, man. Mixed it up, man. 2K. I go back and forth though, so it was
That's what's
definitely on the
up.
PC, y'all. But
Yep.
I tell you what we're gonna do, man. We're gonna go from the top to the bottom. Just keep it
All right.
simple. And we got Project Storm in the house, man. You know what I mean? Next we go hard is in the
Next.
building. Charles Aaron is out here hanging out with us today. We have Kenry V, aka Windstar, is in the house, y'all.
Yo, yo,
Stadia
yo.
Doses News.
Yes.
What would we be without it? All right. We got Tommy Rocks, 81 is in the building, man. We have Victor Del Mastro and Knicks We Go
Nick.
Hard. I don't know if I said Knicks We Go Hard,
Yeah, I
but
think
I'm
you
gonna
got
say it
Nick.
again.
Uh-huh.
All right. So Ron Slusher is in the house. We have Artorias Towers, man. It's out here in the building. The Jack Knuckles Burridge. is here rocking with us as well. The Hero 92. All right. We also have Collins Dynasty. So let's go.
Yo, yo, yo.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, am I
Oh,
muted?
okay.
Oh, can you hear me?
No. I can hear you. I can
Oh,
hear you.
okay. Okay. All
Yeah.
right.
Yep. Last person I called out was Collins Dynasty and
Shout out
saying
to
what it do.
Collins.
And Mikhail
Yes.
Swinney. This guy here is in. Mikhail Swinney.
Mikhail,
Man,
what's
I tell
going
y'all
on?
right. Let me tell y'all right now. There's about to be a real serious storm or something going on. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even talking about. I'm talking about in real life though. In real life.
Oh,
So
yeah,
if y'all
yeah.
lose me for a minute or two or 5 or 10, that's why. It's a major storm out here getting ready to unfold. It's like a flash flood warning or something like that. So
Yeah.
if I drop out, that's why.
Yeah, we're gonna be praying for our good brother Storm. Make sure he's all right. You know what I'm saying? Let me see here. Make sure that I got this set up because they was trying to give me the Yoki Doke Storm
Yeah.
with the web view, but I fixed it just in time. So you know how we do. Let me show you something. Let's get right into it, y'all. Let me make this bigger.
Man,
And Storm, you know what? I got to be a good host, right? I got to be a good host. I got to share my screen with Storm. I got to be a good host. I got to get better. Okay, there we go. All right. So here's what's going on, y'all. There are several things that are happening with Stadia. Some minor things. So we're going to talk about some of the minor fixes, and then we're going to get into the big meat and potatoes. But the first thing that I wanted to talk about was the ability to change your name. That came about yesterday, I believe, Storm. Just real quick before we get into the big stuff. What are your thoughts on that? The ability to now change your name. I don't know if that's ever been something big for you, but I guess before you had to go and contact customer service, and now you can just do it on your own. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'll tell you right now, I don't intend to ever change my name. I got that Project Storm tag, man, that founder badge, and all that good stuff. There's no reason for me to ever even think about changing my name. Mm-hmm. But I do understand that it is big for some people who change their name 5, 10 times a year, like they do on other platforms like Xbox or PlayStation or whatever. You can go in there and change it. Now, I remember on PlayStation, remember when it was like you couldn't change your tag for the longest of times, man? You remember that, man?
Exactly. Yeah, that was crazy.
And all of a sudden, man, people went crazy with it just because they could do it. So I think it's another move, another option, another feature or whatever that you can utilize. That's gonna get Stadia in par more in line with the other platforms as well. So I think it's a good thing. It's not something that's gonna bring the house down.
Exactly.
It's not something that the community was out here begging for that I remember. But hey, you know what? I like the fact that they're paying attention to what's present on other services, what's present on other platforms. And because we're going to be talking about some of that too, MM2K. So it's good to see it, man. You love to see it, actually.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I think it's a good addition for them to have. And if you did want to change your name, if you're not a founder, you're less inclined to do that. You want to keep it authentic. You want to keep it in mint condition, right? That name. But if you're not a founder and you got a number behind it and you just randomly put something out there goes your opportunity. So it's good. Yeah, it's like the stabilization of offering, even the basics that other platforms are offering. All right. So we started off with a palate cleanser, but we got to get into it, man. This is the Stadia blog for today, and it says, Storm, this week on Stadia, just a whole lot of news. All right, so I'm going to just read a little bit of this. And as you can see here, there's Watchdog Legions, because I guess there's a free weekend, which I think that's a good game to have a free weekend with. Little Big Workshop is coming to Stadia Pro. Darksiders, Stadia Pro, and then ARK is in Stadia Pro. So it says, starting today, ARK Survival Evolved, Darksiders 2, Definitive Edition, Little Big Workshop, Legend of the Keepers, Career of a Dungeon Maker, and Wavebreak are all free to claim with your Stadia Pro subscription. Yep, you read that right. ARK Survival Evolved is here. Ride dinosaurs, battle prehistoric terrors, and flip your own poop in this pre-mortal adventure through the lost world. It's just one of 5 free games. Also launching is Darksiders 2, Definitive Edition. this huge version of Darksiders 2 includes the original action adventure classic and all the add-on content ever produced for it. Okay, so let's do this, Storm. Just briefly, overall, what do you think, before we get into the technicalities of specific games, what do you think at least about the lineup of Stadia Pro games so far? You think it's good, bad, decent? What are your thoughts?
All right. Here we go. First of all, shout out to Google Stadia.
Shout
out to the whole Stadia team, everybody that's making these moves for us out here each and every month, each and every week. All of the fans who rock with PNTS Network and Stadia Dosage and Project Storm 4K, 8K, and MM2K and Stadia Dosage Streams and Stadia Revolution and everybody of Snow Bunny Game. Hey, this is on behalf of everybody when I say this. We
it's about to be
deep. The platform.
Yes.
However, we don't have to love all the moves that's being made, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Now, we could like the moves, we could dislike, we could strongly dislike. I don't want to use the word hate, but it is what it is. I think Stadia understands this. So shout out to Stadia for putting in that work and giving us the platform that we game on. This selection of games right now disappointed me overall. Okay. I do like the variety. You hear me on record talking about the diversity, the variety, and all that stuff is good for different gamers. Not every gamer needs to be Project Storm. Don't be me. Don't you try to do it. I don't think anybody should be Project Storm, man.
Not to cut you off, just real quick.
I want to say that first.
I just want to clarify, just to make sure that we understand you properly. Are you saying, like, regardless of how, let's just say if these games performed well, which we're going to get into the performance in a little bit, even if these games were good ports, will you still be disappointed? I just want to throw that in there.
I would not be disappointed if the games were great. Ports or whatever. Like if the performance was there, if the visuals were there. We're gonna get into it. MM2K, we got all show.
Okay.
We can get as deep into it as you want to, bro.
So just the lineup itself. What are your thoughts?
I'm not thrilled. I'm disappointed. ARK is a major part of that for the community now. For the community, not just for me, because I was never gonna get deep into the game anyway. I was never one of those ones saying, I need ARK right now, I want it. Gotta have it right now. I need it on Stadia or else I'm bouncing it. None of that stuff. I don't think anybody said that, by the way, either. Like they were going to leave if it wasn't on Stadia. But I know a lot of people were calling for ARK Survival. I'm disappointed because of those people, for one. And I'm definitely disappointed. It's embarrassing. Not to Google Stadia. It's embarrassing that. Who is this? Let me look at these devs. We got a combination of Studio Wildcard, Instinct Games, Effecto Studios, and Virtual Basement, according to what I'm seeing right here. That all had, was a collaboration or whatever, right? I don't know who's responsible for making sure this game was checked and the QC, the quality control, and all that stuff before it hit the storefront, man. Before it went live, like stadiums. I can't go for it. I can't go for this right here now. I just can't do it. I for all the people that knows that something is not right, I'm on your side of the fence today. MM2K might be halfway in between. He might be on the other side of the fence. He might be all positive. I don't know. But I'm telling y'all right now, when a game like ARK comes to the platform, people are highly anticipating it. And it might be the worst port of all times on this platform. I said it. It might be the worst. And I know y'all might think this is a negative show. So anybody tuning in for the first time, you all should know that we've been trying to be as honest as we could be. There's something really wrong with this game, man. There's something really wrong from so many different angles, man.
I just want to I want to slice it up for people so they understand completely what we're saying here.
Yeah,
so it's not the lineup so much. It's not the lineup. Like, I just want to focus on the lineup first and then talk about the stability.
All right, so let me get back to the lineup. Let me start over.
Yeah. So what are your thoughts on the lineup? Like, let's just pretend if the games were working the way we know they can work on Stadia. What do you think about the lineup first?
The lineup of games would be awesome. Okay. I think it would be a great selection of games. MM2K, Darksiders. I like the franchise. 2, I've been looking forward to. I haven't really played it. I have issues with that on Epic Store. I can't even play it. It's black screen for some reason on Epic Game Store. So I don't know what's going on with Darksiders 2, definitive edition, right?
Yeah.
Wave Break, I got on. I didn't. And I see, hey, look, y'all. I'm just gonna, I gotta be honest. I gotta tell the people, right? You can disagree with me. You know what I'm saying? You could dislike what I'm saying. You know, but what I had to do is I had to tell the truth, y'all. I had to tell the truth because people depend on us to do the right thing and let you all know our impressions, and that could save you a little bit of money. Whether you're gonna sign up for $9.99 a month or whatever the case is, I gotta tell the truth, man. Overall, MM2K, the selection is cool. I've seen better. I've seen better selections. I've seen better, you know, but at the end of the day, it's a cool selection of games. Wave Break was a game I was looking forward to. That's included in the selection. I tried it, didn't care for it that much. It is what it is. We don't have to love every game in the world.
Yep.
Let
me stop.
How you want to do it? Go ahead. Yeah.
Let me stop you right there. Yep. So what I'm going to say is, on the selection, before we get into, because really this is just a preliminary.
The selection overall is good, bro.
The selection is good.
Overall is good. There's a lot of variety in there.
And I'm gonna agree with Storm to where I think the selection is good. I played Darksiders before we went live. I could tell that at the heart of it, it's good. It's a good game. I did boot up ARK a little bit, and fooled around in it, and I can see the lore for certain people. So the variety in the games selected that are in this blog isn't the problem. That's what I wanted to focus on. It's not the variety in the games that's the problem. Now we're going to get into the problem. Now, my brother Storm kicked it off just a little bit. I'm going to let him finish because I didn't want to cut him out. I just wanted to separate the two so you could vividly see what we're saying here. Gotcha. But Storm, so let's talk about it, man. You started off with ARK. I mean, if you want to continue on ARK, what is wrong here? Talk about it.
Hey, look. Man, let me go through it. Shout out to the developers that put their sweat and tears and soul and everything into these games. Y'all know how I feel. If you're watching the content for the first time, you might want to go back and really check out how we do things, how we analyze things, how we break things down, So it's not one of these let's bash the games that people are working hard to make, right?
Yeah.
I didn't get deep enough into these games to really give them an overall score. Definitely wouldn't try to review them or anything like that. But the initial performance for me is everything, MM2K. So the selection of games, Stadia did a good job. They threw in the surprise, like me and Rev, we had a conversation behind the scenes or whatever, like, yo, I told them flat out, this will be one of those months that they will drop ARK. Because I feel like something's a little off, man. We got 3 games that were announced or whatever the case is. I feel like they're getting ready to hit us over the head with ARK or whatever, right? It would just make too much sense going into the fall. So that happened. Right? Again, shout out. I got a feeling. I have a sense that I can't. Look, man. I'm not sugarcoating anything. MM2K, you might have to hit the mute button. No.
No, that's what we need. We just had to slice it up just so for clarity. But we need you to hammer in on what you experienced 1,010%. That's what people need to hear.
All right. So let me first go through the other games that I tried all of them. Like I said, Legends of the Keeper or whatever. Tried that one. That's a dope game. However, I feel like I could be playing Steam World. There's so many games I need to go back to first before I could jump into that game. That game is not a bad game. That was one of the most. It was well polished. I'll say that much. What else did we have out there? ARK, Legends of the Keeper, Wave Break. Wave Break felt like it was a little like. It wasn't 60 FPS. I didn't see a performance mode or anything like that. So, of course, that's going to rub me the wrong way every time. Let me tell y'all something. I need 60 FPS. And we're going to get into that later on in the show. I need that 60 FPS. If I can't get 4K, at least give me 1080p 60. I could be wrong. Maybe the game is 60 FPS. But for what I saw on my screen, it didn't look like a lock 60, smooth 60 or anything like that. So I'm not saying it's a bad game. I'm telling you all, if you care about the things I care about, then this might not, thrill you, right? So some of these games are just not going to be for everybody in the first place, MM2K. Some people only want to play the AAA bangers. Some people want to play the indies that's well polished or whatever the case is, like story driven, whatever the case is, racers or whatever they want to play, man. But for me, I'm always trying to give a fair critique of these games when they drop, man. I did it for Madden. You can go back to the very beginning. I was doing it for Destiny 2 and Division 2 and everything else, man. The games that are well polished, well ported. And I don't know who's at fault. I don't know. I can't say I'm behind the scenes and we know everything that's going down and I'm ready to point the finger at everybody. But I know there's an issue when a game comes like ARK does to this platform with the hype and people begging for it, for the game now. So ARK gets no pass. It gets no pass from me. I don't know if it's going to get a pass from you, but I tell you this, it is one of the worst ports I've ever seen on this platform. I just end it right there, MM2K. I'll end it right there for now.
Let me hop in on here. Everything that Storm just said, I totally agree with, and the viewership might plummet.
It might. Hey, you might.
But it is what it is.
You might do a lot of things a day because I got to keep it real.
It might plummet. They may not ever see the PNTS network.
Unsubscribe from MM2K.
You know what I mean? But look, we're going to keep it real here. We got to keep it real here because contrary to popular belief, this channel is not here to just simply bolster Stadia and everything that they do, no matter what happens.
Right.
We are here to bolster what you're getting to the people. So if it's working for the people, you'll hear us on the top of the mountains, hallelujah. But if it's not working, you're gonna hear us swing low, sweet chair. You know what I'm saying? It all depends on what we got to work with on the table. And I'm here to tell you that I'm with Storm. What we got to work with on the table today, I'm just not digging. I'll start with ARK. And the only little bit of time that I spent with ARK. Some people have said the game is playable. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it all depends. It's not playable to me. It's not playable. And again, I'm not doubting anybody else of what they're saying. To me, it's not just a bad port or a poor port. It's a horrible port.
Yes, it is.
It staggers every 2 or 3 seconds. For me, maybe it's different for other people.
For me too.
It staggers every 2 or 3 seconds, and things go in and out. You know what I'm saying? Like assets go in and out in like this weird grainy feel. Pop, yeah. Yep. I can't even call it popping. It's weird. It's popping fresh dough in. I don't know what the hell it is.
And hey, have you seen the shadows? All right, so these are some good examples. I don't want to cut you off, man. Yeah. But have you seen the shadows that pop in and look like they're like a screen type of effect on the shadows of certain bushes and all that stuff yet?
Yeah, no, I haven't noticed that yet. I mean, my mind was just so bewildered with the other stuff that I was seeing. I was like, no, like no, popping fresh, no, yeah. So I'll save that what I was just about to say for the end. Okay, so that's ARK. Storm. Let's talk the thing. Okay, but I'm gonna say this though. I was a little surprised with ARK. I thought that, maybe it would be a little grainy or whatever. Maybe the frames would be inconsistent because it is ARK. I wasn't expecting what I saw, though. And that was disappointing, but I wasn't really too disappointed with ARK. For one, I got to be honest with y'all. This is not a game that's made for MM2K. Now, Stadia has introduced me to a lot of games that I normally wouldn't touch if I was playing on other platforms, but now I've grown to love. But ARK, I'm not hurt because ARK is in the state that it's in. The game that really has bewildered me, I think the most bewildering game out of this pack right now, Storm, is, shout out Levon. Hey, Levon, I'm going to use you as a reference later. Levon, shout out to you, brother. I'm glad you're here. But the game that really surprised me, Storm, was Darksiders. Did you want to touch on that first, or what? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
Please, bro. It surprised me too. Having completed Darksiders Genesis on this platform and raving about it. Raving about it. I gave it an 8.8 initial thoughts, and then, because I do my little points and stuff. I do my little, why can't I do it if IGN and everybody else can do it? I do my little 8.8. Yeah. But then by the time I completed the game, I gave it a solid 9, man. It was that good to me. Like the everything worked. There was no deterrent as far as like gameplay goes and stuff like that the whole time I was playing the game, man. I never had any bugs. I never had any glitches. I don't remember seeing any pop in or anything would take my mind off of doing what I need to do on Darksiders Genesis. So because of Darksiders Genesis on Stadia, because remember, one of the first places you could play it was on Stadia, $40. I bought it, I played it, I went all the way through it, I loved it, right? So of course that made me look at the older games. I wanted to jump into them. And Darksiders 2 was one of those games, man. Now, when I booted the game up, I had my desktop PC on 8K. It was like running at 8K. So I said, okay, let me lower that down to 4K 120 like I do on all my games on the desktop PC, whatever, right? Still, it wasn't hitting 60 FPS. I was disappointed. I can't. It's hard for me to do 30 FPS because when I'm looking in the background, everything gets blurry. For those who don't know. For those who do know resolution and frame rate and all that stuff, you know what I'm talking about here, right?
Yeah.
Some people don't care. And this conversation, you could just forget all about it. Don't worry about it. Because if you don't care about frame rate and resolution and all that stuff, you're not going to have any problem with any of these games.
Exactly.
But for the people that do, we were primarily talking to you all, and Darksiders also let me down, MM2K, because when it first came on, I was like, here's that polish. This is the game that is going to stand out from that pack right here.
Yes.
And I thought that was the case until I started playing and I realized it wasn't 60 FPS.
Yeah. So the thing that bewilders me about Darksiders is, again, it's an older game. Now, I think this is the remake of the older game, the Ultimate Edition, right? Mm-hmm. But it's still older assets, right? And we have Darksiders Genesis, which I believe was ran off of the same engine, and that game was buttery smooth. It was beautiful, right? I don't get where a game with older assets like that, you know what I'm saying? Where where even the more recent game worked better, and you can't have a 60 frames per second mode, like you don't have a performance mode. You know what I mean? And here's my thing with 30 frames per second on Stadia. This is why 30 frames per second only on Stadia is a no-go for me, and I know if it's a no-go for me, it's a no-go for a good slice of the community. When you're playing on the CCU, it's fine. But when you're on the PC like me, and you may have, made some adjustments to your GPU to get it bling-bling as much as possible, or just in general, even before I even started doing what my brother Storm had suggested that I do, when I was just playing regularly. When you're playing because of the different refresh rates of your monitor and all the other stuff, you got everything tweaked and everything set up perfectly for you. And 30 frames per second on Stadia via the web browser, to me, is headache inducing. I got a headache playing this game. And I try, for those of you that are members, when you see my first look, when I release this, I don't know if I'm going to release it today or tomorrow. When you see my first look, I had to stop halfway through because I was getting a headache. And I still have a headache, literally. So 30 frames per second only as an option on Stadia, it's not good. It's not good because this platform is supposed to have versatility in that area, right? That's what brought the demographic or the tech enthusiasts and the casuals. Now I get casuals may like certain things or may not care about 30 frames per second, and they're only playing on the CCU. And I get that's your bigger group, but don't forget about us. I'm starting to feel like, Storm, that we're being forgotten about. You know what I'm saying? When I look at performance like this, it does concern me. And then secondly, I don't get why this older game can't have a performance. Really, I'm going to be honest with you. I can't get why this older game isn't like checkerboard from 1800 P60 or something. I don't get it. What am I missing here, Storm? Help me out. I pass the mic to you because I'm bewildered right now.
You're going to have to help me as soon as I pass it back to you, because I'm telling you right now, listen, chat, listen, y'all, we're gamers. We're adults. Some of us teens, maybe. You know what I mean? Might even be a couple kids in here cool kids in the house, man. Mm-hmm. But let me say this to y'all, man. We can't go out there and games are broken and we praise them and say that there's nothing wrong. We can't turn our head. As much as I would have liked to have turned my head and said, yo, because I tried it, boy. I tried it. I'm looking. I'm like, okay, I see people talking about it, having concerns before I even jumped in. And I tell you right now, one of those, shout out to Bill from Nerd Nest. Once Bill said that when he called out whatever he was seeing as far as performance went, I said, I know, I said, well, there's a chance and I'm probably going to see what Bill saw. And there was other people as well. I can't remember, but Bill was one of the first people I checked out. Shout out to Nerd Nest. Tune in and check them out, man. Yo, I got on the game myself. And shout out to Duncan. Shout out to Duncan, by the way, because Duncan was another one that actually said that the performance was bad or whatever, or could be better or something like that. He tweeted out. And I said, okay, let me go ahead and give it a shot myself. It was the first game I booted up today. The first game I'm talking about across any platform that I played today was ARK. And MM2K, I saw everything you saw and more, though, bro. I saw the stutter every other second, however many seconds, 8 to 10 seconds or whatever. I got that freeze. Sometimes it hung longer than I wanted to. And sometimes I saw other things that was the animations and stuff. I saw everything that I had read about and more. Like, it seems like there was a lot more, though. So I started thinking, people. I said, man, wait a minute. I can't blame Google Stadia because Stadia has ports like Division 2, Destiny 2, Cyberpunk, Red Dead, all of these great games, Grid, F1 2020, and so many more games, Judgment. The list goes on and on and on. So for anybody that's about to get worried about Storm and MM2K, you don't have to worry about us because we always keep it real. You know what I mean? But the bottom line here, y'all, is that we have to call this out because we want games on this platform to get what they deserve. Yeah. To be best in the cloud, best in class, ports and all that stuff on a platform that we consider top notch. And that's all we want, man, at the end of the day. Like, so MM, with that being said, I had to pass it back to you, man.
Yeah, look, I would look, here's the thing. Normally, even if I see something that personally doesn't appeal to me, and I've done that a lot when it comes to this platform, I would say, but I would look at the bigger goal and say, because it serves a bigger goal, it ain't all about MM2K. As a matter of fact, MM2K is part of the smaller demographic that's going to help make this platform successful. I get it's the casual, but they appeal to both of us, right? And I'm starting to get the feeling that, and I don't know how y'all feel about it. That's why we got the poll up there. Please check out the poll. The question is, are you happy with the performance of ARK and Darksiders 2 on Stadia? Now, 58% right now says no, Storm, and 42% says yes. So the people is with us. You know what I mean? And it's good for Google to hear this. And I'm going to even take it a step further. Again, like I said, y'all know I'm doing this for y'all. I don't work for Google. I love the people at Google. They've been nothing but great to me. They're great people, and I know they mean well. But I don't work for Google. I work for you. You at the other end of this mic. That's what this platform was all about. When we started this platform, we were sick and tired of you being lied to. So we spoke the truth. I am not going to start lying to you now. You know what I'm saying?
I heard that.
Just to keep it positive. I can't do that. And just because we're pointing out these issues that we think are glaring with these particular games doesn't mean that we think the platform is doomed. Heck no, we don't think it's doomed. Like Storm said, we're gonna go play Control. We're gonna play some other. We got a backlog of games that we got to touch, and there's great ports here. But this was a missed opportunity, Storm, I think. I think the opportunity was missed because, you had people, complaining about games. Like, oh, we're not getting games. And we know that a lot of it was, induced superficially because of what they saw at Gamescom. Like, I'm still against going to a Gamescom or an E3, waiting for a graphic or a logo, and then going all eight nuts over that. However, that's the temperature right now. People are doing it. And then you got this opportunity to squelch that, by putting out a halfway decent, slightly better ARK port. And I get that ARK runs crappy elsewhere, but they could have done better than this. And a fathomable, it's not even fathomable to me, this Darksiders 2 port. It's not fathomable. No performance mode. Let alone not being able to do an upscale 4K 60, but no 1080p 60 mode. No. So my question is, what I need help with is, Storm, do you think that is because of all that bickering and stuff that we heard earlier? And Stadia is now, they are working hard. We got confirmation of they're working hard. They're doing the best that they can to get games over here. But do you think in that process of them hearing the fussing and stuff like that, and them trying to work hard to get more games over here, the games that we want, the games that honestly just popped out of nowhere, like Dying Light 2 was in limbo, and all of a sudden it popped out, and now Dying Light 2 is probably going to be one of the big finishers of 2021, and maybe they didn't predict that. Do you think now that Stadia is allowing developers and publishers to rush games here? What are your thoughts on that?
I thought so many things in them 2K. If you could bear with me for a moment, man. I thought about those who called for ARK, right? Mm-hmm. And wanted it very badly. Yeah. So I was like, oh man, you know what? Could they have rushed the port? Maybe the port just wasn't ready. Maybe they were working on something else. I don't know, right? But see, then I thought about the fact that it doesn't even matter. You drop this product, you know what I mean? And people, in some cases, are going to pay for it. Yeah. That don't have Stadia Pro. They're going to pay for this, man. And when they get their hands on it, if they see some of the issues that we are talking about right now, they're either going to do two things: refund or make a lot of noise about it. Yeah. A small percentage might not care. They might just be happy to have it in the library and wait for it to get patched up, like I do with certain games, like I did with Cyberpunk. I've been waiting, and now that game is at a point where it's just like I'm hearing great things about Cyberpunk 2077, right? Mm-hmm. But this is ARK, man. This is yet another game, and we called it out. We talked about Serious Sam 4. Mm-hmm. We talked about a lot of games, man, that just wasn't well optimized on this platform or whatever. But remember, for every game we called out that's not well optimized, there's 50 to 100 other ones that are, So don't lose sight of that as we had this conversation today. But I thought about Google. I thought about Stadia. Right? I thought about it. I'm like, man, Stadia, I remember them saying at the Dev Summit that, we were focused on 4K at one point. I'm paraphrasing here, y'all, but I know they mentioned somewhere how they were so focused. Like every game at first, it was a requirement, right? I remember reading this, and I remember hearing this or something, saying that there was a requirement for 4K on every game. Now, if you go back a couple weeks ago, we're talking about Grime not having 4K support at launch. We're talking about now, what was the other one that we just covered last week?
Young Souls, I think.
Young Souls, man. To my understanding, doesn't have 4K. So now, are they going to ease back a little bit on the 4K? At least we had 4K crispy. We might not have had the 60 FPS in every game, right? But we had up to 4K, which made everything just look cleaner. ARK would benefit so much from a 4K resolution as far as like some of the details go and all that stuff, like, sharpening some things up that was soft and all that stuff. But it would almost need a miracle patch, man, to get to a point where it's playing and it's looking like PC medium or low to medium settings or PC high or something like that, which I think that they could deliver with Stadia because we see other games out here doing amazing things, MM2K. This right here is a conversation right here, man, that has to open eyes, I think, because if not, this is what we're going to get. We're going to get more of this, y'all. We're going to get more games like this, and it won't be all Stadia's fault. It would be the developers who are just like, okay, I'm just going to throw my game on Stadia and then just get this money. And it is what it is. Let's work on our new project. Throw it on Stadia, work on our new project. Is that what we really want? Because as soon as we get out here and start saying, give them a pass, Storm, ARK is cool and everything. I don't see what you're talking about. I don't see the big deal. As soon as we start hearing a lot of those conversations and we give them a pass, we're going to get more games like this. And then it'll get to the point where, you know what? Developers won't care. Publishers won't care. We are still dealing with Outriders right now. I just want to, I have to wake everybody up with this one. We're still dealing with Outriders right now, people. So why wouldn't me and MM2K feel the way we do today? You all should feel the same way. I mean, if a game is great, it's great, right? That's the general consensus. It's a great game. Oh man, Destiny 2, Division 2, so many others, Resident Evil Village and all that is great. However, ARK is not. So what do we do here?
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Like, let me give you an example. Cyberpunk for me was like kind of grainy. Shout out to the homie Jen Stadia Virtual Cloud. Now we chatted about this on Twitter. What else was like that? Marvel. The performance mode was like it was like, you know, grainy. I was expecting that grainy, maybe some frame drops or whatever on ARK. You know, low now and low textures. Like, a Storm, can you let the people know what type of textures they getting in ARK right now?
I will let the people know what I saw because your boy looks for this kind of stuff, so you don't have to worry about it. They have the full suite of PC settings. Shout out to Amazon Luna, damn it. Shout out. Hold on. I want to stop the show for 2 minutes. I want to shout out Amazon Luna and GeForce Now. See, all of you out there thinking that we hate these services. We don't hate these services. We need these services. Stadia doesn't even hate Amazon Luna and GeForce Now. They've already made it evident. You know what I'm saying? So why the hell would I be up here hating another service when I could play all of them, right? But shout out to Amazon Luna right now for giving you the options to choose different textures and anti-aliasing and ray tracing and all these other things that GeForce Now and Amazon Luna does well. This is just one example. Now imagine if we had those options with Stadia. A game like ARK would be looking damn good right now because we could play around with it and all that. I'm not asking for Stadia to add this to every game. Nope. But if it has those settings right in front of my face and they're all blacked out where you can't select anything, you can't choose anything, and then I look down bottom and I see extra low detail texture streaming, extra low, well, that answers the question, MM2K in chat. That is why ARK is looking the way it's looking. Now, do we deserve that after waiting so long? Now, look, I'm not one of the people that's crying for ARK. You know what I mean? Because ARK is a game that I could have played on other platforms, including my PC. You know what I mean? I could have already been deep into ARK. I'm more mad about the people that's going to see this performance and be like, yo, I waited for this. We made all this noise for this.
Yeah.
So that's all. I mean, we don't have to talk forever on ARK and everything, but MM, I just wanted to be clear, man. They have the PC settings right there. Everybody that's been in the menu, you know what I'm talking about. But if only we could turn that thing up to high settings, medium settings, it might be a whole different experience.
Well, I kind of get to where on Stadia they want to limit the settings because when you do that on Luna, it destroys your performance.
Yeah, that brings up another point, though. It brings up another point. At some point, we got to get into it.
Stadia is prized on its performance, but this is what I don't get. They show you that it's on extra super duper extra sugary water load settings, right?
Can't put no sugary in that, bro. You cannot put nothing sweet about that.
And look, and then it skips every 3 seconds. Like that's, I get it's part of Pro, and I saw in the chat where they're like, you know, let it build up or whatever. Yeah, but there's just some things, man. Like before it releases, it should be at a better state. And I know people. Look, shout out to Levon Cason. Levon, if you're still in the house,
shout out.
Let me know. Levon will tell you. I was in the chat with my bros a couple of weeks ago, and I've talked about this. And my bros was like, "Oh yeah, Stadia sucks. This, that, and the other. MM2K, why are you wasting your time with that?" And he was there. I bopped him all in the corner. Pap, 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 pap. Levon was in there throwing me questions too. Pap, pap. And I put him in a situation where they had to try Stadia. because they backed themselves in a corner and they said something they didn't know, and it forced them to try Stadia. He'll tell you because he was one of them. That's why he's here today. Shout out to him. And LaVon has his own channel. He's over 1,000 subscribers. He covers console gaming and everything. Shout out to LaVon. When they tried it along with LaVon, they was all like, yo, this is dope. This is cool. One cat said, what did he say, LaVon? If you still here, bro, he said, I'm going to start playing my games on Stadia because I don't have to play them on PC anymore and take up all my drive space. Now, how is that? How is MM2K effectively working in the grassroots marketing if I'm telling my bros this, I'm telling people this, and they say, ooh, ARK is coming to Stadia. Now I can remove it from my hard drive, because what is it now, Storm? Like 350 gigabytes or something?
Something crazy.
I can take it from my hard drive and I can play it on Stadia because MM2K told me so. And then they go to boot it up and it looked like Pac-Man Plus. Like, come on, man. Like,
no, it looks worse than Pac-Man Plus. Get it right.
There has to be a level of standard here, and we as a community, we got to make a decision. This is what I'm going to say. I'll let Storm respond, and then we're going to move on. We brought all of this up because I think we as a community, we want Stadia to know first and foremost. So I got the poll up there. Please make sure y'all participate in the poll. It's anonymous. Nobody's going to come and hurt you. Just put what your thoughts are up there. We need Stadia to notice and hear this. But community, I'm saying this to you. We got to make a decision. This platform is young. They're building relationships. They're getting out of a situation with COVID. I'm not saying that there's going to be periods where there should be no games, but we got to make a decision. Do we want Stadia to just be throwing games at us? Or do we want to be patient enough for these games to come out buttery crisp out of the oven the way that they should be? I'm starting to feel that ARK should have never there's never should have been a timeline put to ARK yet. Maybe in a month or two, it would have been a little bit better, playable. And Darksiders, I feel like that maybe that was supposed to come out later, and they just said to hell with it. You don't need 30, you don't need 60 frames per second. We can do this 4K 30, even if it's not a stable 30. It's hurting my eyes. My eyes were about to bleed. So we got to make a decision, community. This could be an impulse reaction to the fact that we sitting out here looking at Gamescom, looking at logos, and like, oh, Stadia ain't got no games, even though they're coming out with 100 plus games. This could be a reaction to that. They're not, the platform is new. They're not going to be able to do both, particularly in 2021. Start oozing with games and give us top quality. So we got to make a decision. We got to make a balance. What is it that you prefer? Do you prefer a Darksiders 4K 30, 1080p 30, but not even a stable 30 where it could hurt your eyes if you're playing on PC, and ARK that looks like FARC? You know what I'm saying? Or do you want these games to come out at a certain quality? You gotta make up your mind. Storm, what are your final thoughts on any of that or this whole subject matter at all?
All right. My thoughts are this right here. I'm booting the game up on xCloud just to see if they got a better port on xCloud than on Stadia. That's all.
No, which game is that?
This is ARK, and I'll let y'all know before the end of the show. That's all. But right, MM2K, we do this for the people, man. We do this because, and every game is not going to be ARK. It's not going to come out looking like this. But you want me to do a live stream? I'll do a live stream. I guarantee you might dislike the video by the time I'm done. I can do that for y'all if you want now. But we're just going to keep it real and move on, man. Darksiders is a game that I think is more tolerable. It is 30 FPS, and it does get blurry in the background, which is why MM is getting a headache in the first place. But it's not going to be a problem for all people. We do understand that, man.
Yeah, you played on the CCU. Yep. Mm-hmm.
I tried it on desktop PC where I can go with variable refresh rate and all that good stuff, 120 hertz, man, which smooths out the gameplay even more so than the CCU. You know, and so that's the best place I could actually play the game. And it just wasn't right. That's all.
Yeah. Yeah, I got you. Well, I mean, those are our thoughts on it. And, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if I got to throw this out there, too.
Oh, yeah. One more thing.
Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
The amount of servers this pop. Hey, shout out to Twisted Barber.
Shout
The
out.
amount of servers I see right now on xCloud, of course, we know the servers, they're going to have way more people playing the game, man, but there's a whole lot of people playing the game. This is, again, why crossplay is so key. Because I saw like maybe 5, 6 servers at the time. It could be more now with more people getting on the game today and all that. So I'm going to be looking at the servers as well. You know, so I just wanted to point that out too, MM2K, because I'm looking at this large server base. And no, I'm not going over to xCloud because Stadia performs better than xCloud overall. Why would I do that? But I'm just saying, y'all, you know Project Storm, if you don't know my content, I'll compare anything. Apples to bananas, watermelons to peaches. It doesn't matter. They all get compared.
Yeah. I want to say that right now, I mean, look, I don't look at these games and say these games have to be for me. And as much as I enjoy playing Grime, I think it's a quality game. And let me see here the other games that we got for Stadia Pro and whatever that came out for the platform. As much as I enjoyed all of them, they really in August didn't speak to me. Nothing was for me. I'm not sure when Rainbow Six Siege released. I think that was July as well. But yeah, nothing in August really talked to me. The last game that talked to me was Control. So August, really nothing that talked to gamers like me, the tech enthusiasts, that you know, we don't only need the hardcore games, but the hardcore games really speak for us in a lot of ways. You know, and now I don't know what September is going to look like. September is now shaky unless we see some vast improvements, at least to 60 frames per second mode for Darksiders. Because from what I played from Darksiders, I could tell it's a quality game, even though it's an older title. It's a great game to have on the platform. It's just, we got to get a 60 frames per second mode on it. We got to. I mean, that's I think one of the anchoring points of this system for one of its core demographics is that performance mode, that 60 frames per second, and having it in a versatile fashion. Like, as a streamer, you gotta have that 60 frames per second. So if I'm on Stadia as a streamer and I got Darksiders 2, it looks great. Where's the 60 frames per second at? And even even when you cap it off at 1080p, it still looks really good. We just gotta get that 60 frames per second popping. And I don't know, Storm, do they gotta upgrade to the Phantom 2.0? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on. They gotta do something. I don't know what the issue is.
That discussion needs to be happening. And I've always given Stadia 2 years when it comes to the performance. Y'all remember, I signed up because I liked the way that 4K 60 looked on the white board or whatever, right? During that GDC. I liked the way that looked. So therefore, I came running over here. I'm excited because of that, right? So for some people, just keep in mind the people who are coming over here knowing what Stadia is about and what it's capable of tech-wise and all that stuff, right? You can't forget about us, right? Don't go burning down our homes and everything because we want the tech. So I think that Stadia needs to really strongly be considering upgrading, whether the competition is ready to or not. And I do have a live update for y'all because you think that ARK looks bad and runs bad on Stadia.
Mm-hmm.
MM2K, you will throw up within the first 5 seconds of gameplay on xCloud. And this is what I'm trying to tell you. So don't that. But the hiccup's not there. The pop in and stuff like that is not present. But I tell you what, bro, the frame rate has to be at least 8 to 10 frames per second.
Oh, Jesus!
I mean, it is horrible when you're panning the camera and everything, bro.
But
I could do a live stream of it. I could do a live stream of it.
But you know what, Storm? You know what, Storm? And we're gonna talk about it later in the show because my bro was, and this is another reason why I'm a little verklempt over this. My bro, one of my bros, gave a big shout out, a big Xbox guy gave a big shout out to Stadia, admitted that Stadia had a leg up on Xbox when it came to performance. Admitted it. So I expect xCloud to be worse, even on the upgraded server blades. Stadia means something. Like, this is it's an industry term, something that was branded in my head by one of my managers as they were mentoring me. He said the biggest thing that you could do when you're trying to roll out something new, MM2K, is focus on your product placement. That's huge. What is Stadia's product placement? To me, it's ease of use, convenience, and quality. You got it. Those are the 3 pillars. None of the pillars can be sacrificed, right? Like
Yes, sir.
Xbox's pillars might be game lineup, variety, Phil Spencer, you know, whatever their pillars are. But those are our pillars. You can't give up on that. And when you start giving up on that too often, like there's gonna be outliers here and there. You know what I'm saying? But when you give up on it too often or with too big of a title, then you got to start wondering, what is your product placement? Again, for every bad port that we've gotten so far, like Storm said, there's 50 to 100 great ports. But it does reason for caution to, you know, ARK, maybe not so much, but to see ARK and an older game like Darksiders go through this issue, like, it definitely beckons some questions.
Hey, bro. Now this is what ruffles my feathers, man. So at least we got the PC port of the game. I don't know what version this is that I'm playing on the xCloud right now. And shout out to xCloud, man. They have some beautiful games over there that's running very well as at times too, right? But this date, when I go into the options, what you see here under graphics is UI general scale, UI item slot scale, gamma correction, motion blur, and disable menu transitions. Where Stadia had the full suite of settings, but they were all blacked out. Yeah. So, man, that's why it's very interesting, because at any given time, Stadia could say, or maybe the developers, they could go ahead and tweak and do a patch. They could do a performance patch if they wanted to. But I don't know, y'all. I don't know, because I'm not behind the scenes. I just know what we got is unacceptable, and that's it. We can move on, though.
Yeah, and I just want to say, you know, I want to focus on the games for October, though. They're definitely going to speak for me and everybody. We got Riders Republic coming out, and we got, what's it called coming out? We got Far Cry 6. But I'm going to be honest with you. I am concerned, Stadians. I am concerned. I'm just throwing it out there. I am concerned. Because are those going to be 30 frames per second games? You know what I'm saying? Like, we already know that the Far Cry 5 engine didn't bode well with Stadia for whatever reason, so we only have 30 frames per second there. But so is the next one only going to be 30 frames per second? Are we going to get a 60 frames per second mode there?
Hope so, because if not,
especially with Riders Republic. Yeah.
Like it'll be sitting there like Far Cry 5 right now, man. Or I'll be planning on another.
This ain't hate, but this is just like, now it's time for us to speak up. If this does start to come to fruition, we got to speak up and say, no. Quality is a pillar here. We're willing to exude a little bit more patience, because quality is a pillar here. You know what I mean? We got all these Ubisoft games, and we got so many other games that are here that a lot of you I know haven't touched. Please don't bury this platform, you know, by wanting too much right now. Right now, they're outpacing the Xbox One in games. They're young. They're trying to make inroads. They're going to make deals, and there's going to be some games that we like to see on there that we're going to miss. But let's not go over the top and say there ain't no games. There ain't no games. That's not true. That's not the case. And let's not rush games to this platform. Let's not let our anger and angst rush games to the platform. Let's create a balance. Because I don't want to. I'm telling you, I don't want to see this again. I definitely don't. You know. But we can move on. Storm. Real quick, there's something that I kind of slapped in these notes too. That really isn't relevant. I don't know why I did it. But Ubisoft Plus. Here, let me see if I can put it on the screen. Ubisoft Plus, they're changing. Why did that go off? Everything is cutting up on me today. You know what? Better yet, let me do it like this. Let me show you something. So if you can see this, Storm, there's a countdown here, and it says play on your favorite devices from the xCloud beta. Enjoy our gaming subscription across your devices. Elevate your experience in our worlds with beta access to Amazon Luna and Stadia until September 29th. So if you're wondering what the hell that means, it says what happens at the bottom here. Let me make this bigger for the people in the back, if it'll let me. Probably not. Okay, there we go. What happens to the beta? What happens at the end of the beta? Well, what happens at the end of the beta is if you link your account to Stadia or Luna by September 29th, you will be granted founder status and automatically keep your access to cloud gaming at no additional cost after the end of the beta. Meaning, To get access to Ubisoft Plus, you got to go on the PC, sign up for it. In the US, in the States, it's like $15, $16 and some change after tax. But on September 30th, multi-access, the normal access that you get on PC along with the cloud access, will include PC and cloud gaming, and it will be $17.99 a month. So it's going to go up about $3. So in order for you to have access to both, you're going to pay an additional $3 a month. See the dedicated fact article. So anybody that's interested right now, just sign up as part of the beta. Don't let your service lapse between September 30th on. If you don't let your service lapse after then you're Gucci. Storm, what are your thoughts on this? They're going to charge additional $3 pretty much for the cloud version if you're not part of the beta.
It's a business move. Some people might not be happy with it, but I think all of the value that I'm getting here and that I see in the foreseeable future, like Riders Republic and Far Cry 6 and Avatar and others, if it was going up $5-10 MM2K, I have a problem with it probably.
Yeah.
I will still keep paying for it because I get a lot of different games that I can play. All the Assassin's Creed games, Origins, Odyssey, and all that I need to finish. Valhalla is still there. I don't pay for the Ubisoft games. So this service right here, I pay for my subscription every month or whatever. I do that. But that's been kind of valuable to me, knowing that I can cancel at any time or whatever the case is if I do decide to cancel. But I can't see myself doing that because of the value that I get with all these games that I love to play. Not to mention the ones that's coming to the platform that's older. They can go as far back as Splinter Cell if they really wanted to. So I'm here for the ride, man. Now, for somebody else, that might be a little bit steep, and I'm sure they understand that, so they can make adjustments. But I think with the quality of games coming up, Ubisoft has been doing very well, from what I understand, MM2K. So, in order to get these big time snowdrop engines and stuff, games or whatever, we have like Avatar. We're gonna have to pay a little bit more for it, but we've seen this happen. We got the $70 games debacle on PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? We got other services going up. Some people, you can bet your grandmama's britches that Game Pass is going to go up at some point as well. With all those moves, with the big acquisition and all that stuff, man. Eventually, I'd be surprised if we don't see the same happening in more cases in MM2K, but it happens all the time. GeForce Now went up. Luna's probably going to go up once they get more games and stuff. It is what it is.
Yep. So here's the thing, man. I think that a price hike. We weren't sure after we saw some verbiage. I think about a few weeks ago. But a price hike of $3, I think is fine. It's okay. Again, you get to play these games. Not only you get to play the hundreds of them, or the 100 of them on the PC. So you get all.
And you get the best version, right?
Yeah, you get the best version of them. Then you get the gold editions. I look. This is a lot of people may get upset because of this, and I'm not saying it to upset anybody. But I like I think Ubisoft Plus is way more valuable than Game Pass. I don't want a service. I don't want a service that makes me or gives me games to help me discover games. I've been gaming for 35 plus years. I know what the hell I want to play, and I like to play Ubisoft games. So knowing that I get the deluxe version of the gold edition of every Ubisoft game when it releases day and date, I'm with it. With the maybe the handful of games in Game Pass that I would want to play. 15 now. Give me Ubisoft Plus all the time over that. You know what I mean?
Let me clarify. Sometimes some of these games can go upwards of over $100, man, for all the DLC, all the content and everything. You if you bought it from Ubisoft, you would be paying over $110 sometimes, you know.
Yep.
So I just want to throw that out there as far as the value that you get, because I'm still blown away by the version of the games we get over there. And you know, because they don't have to give us that. You know, some people love Ubisoft so much they'll pay that $15 just to play the bare minimum, you know.
Hmm.
But the fact that they're giving us the deluxe editions, the gold editions, the ultimate editions, and all that, sometimes that's why I continue to go ahead and keep my 14.99 going. You
Yep.
know, and I don't anticipate ending my service anytime soon. So $15 a month US is what I'm going to be paying, I guess.
Yep. Yep. So, yep, I'm keeping my access to both Luna and Stadia. I like the fact that they don't charge you separately for both. You know, so I got my Ubisoft account connected for both Luna and Stadia. So once Luna ups its data capacity, I can try it there. I can try them sliders out there and really see what's going on. So I
Yep.
think that's fair. I think it's a good price. So I don't mind it. All right. With that said, let's continue on. Storm.
What up?
Let's talk about it, bro. The fake Mandalorian video.
Oh yeah.
Wow. We got there's not too much as far as what we think about it, but there's something I gotta let people know about after we have this quick conversation. So this shout out to the homie Vivi Plays. Y'all should know him in the community. He was an organizer for the Summer Community Championship. Shout out to him. And he put out a tweet a few days ago, said Mandalorian game confirmed fake. Anyone here surprised? No, didn't think so. And this was a video from the guy, I think his name is Christopher Turner, that here, I can't really play too much. Yeah, Christopher Turner. I can't really play the video, but there it goes right there, where he explains that the Mandalorian video was fake. He didn't get it from somebody, and that he staged it to make it look like a real game. Now, I've had several different conversations with people, and we've even had a Twitter Spaces done, which I thought was a real good conversation. Shout out to brothers like Daryl Smock, Sean L., the homie Ralph, and all those that listened. We talked about people's feelings about this. And I get that there's a lot of content creators and publications that are upset with this guy because when they reached out to him, he flat out lied to them. But you'd be surprised, maybe not, at how many people just like, whatever, this is impressive. And I think this was a good thing to see. Well, not necessarily a good thing, but I was impressed in seeing this, and okay, all right, maybe he didn't do the most honorable thing in how he did it, but I'm not mad about it. And the fact that he's a Stadia fan, cool. Storm, what do you think about those wide range of thoughts, and what are your thoughts in regards to all this now?
I think all the thoughts out there are warranted.
Mm-hmm.
The gameplay tricked me. I thought the character model was very impressive in M2K. The claw physics, I talked about it. Me and
Uh-huh.
Bibbity Bop, I went on record saying that I said, of course it's real and all that stuff, right? And I said I leaned towards 70% that it was real, 30% that it could be fake. And mainly that was because of what I saw with my own eyes, you know what I'm saying, the gameplay and all that stuff. The fact that it looked like something that could have definitely been played on Stadia. I saw the rough edges, the jankiness that you all were talking about, like the Indiana Jones
Mm-hmm.
16-bit swinging when he swung across the cavern or whatever he did in the gameplay video. But then there was something believable about it. There was something cool about it. You know what I mean? So that's why I was leaning toward maybe this could just be rough leak
Yeah.
footage or whatever, man, of a game, a portion of a game that's larger in scope and scale. So I went into all those thoughts. But am I mad with dude? Am I? Hell no, because I've seen
Mm-hmm.
this so many times, man. I do understand the people who are frustrated. I want to say that again. I heard the
Mm-hmm.
voices when they spoke, when you had them interviewed. I mean, when you were doing the live calls and everything, I tuned in to listen to that. Um, and I heard people's thoughts, man. So shout out to Smock Jr. and others who called in that day and all those who were listening in.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, after he made that video, I mean, he told me what it was. It was
Mm-hmm.
it was like, look, man, I was just trying to, get out there and be noticed and all that stuff. And he took that chance. I don't think he thought it was going to blow up to 100 over 100K that quickly. In fact, I know he mentioned that he thought it was gonna get shut down and all that stuff, cease and desist and all that good stuff, man. But it is what it is, man. I'm still positive about the fact that Ubisoft Massive could be working on something. EA, whoever could be working on a new Star Wars game, that game is going to be coming down the road. When, I don't know. But as far as Chris Turner goes, man, I'm not mad at that dude. I don't know him. I don't know him to be mad. I have too many games to be playing to be worried about what Chris Turner is thinking right now. You know, shout out to him for making something that was believable. And shout out to all the people that held him accountable and made him reconsider his level of thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I gotta be honest, and nothing against the content creators that reached out to him. Was I surprised that he lied to people? No, I wasn't surprised, and I'm not just. Trust me, I'm not justifying it. I'm not surprised because he staged this. So if this is staged, I mean, you got to think on both scales here. If this is staged, you think he was waiting for somebody to call him? He's like, oh, okay, the gig is up. No, he wanted the attention. I referenced it to clout chasing. I didn't mean it to be in a mean way, but it is what it is. I've seen it before. Told you guys I've been doing this for a long time. So I get the anger over being lied to, but if he put this out here and he's getting all this attention, I think that we were probably not looking at this from 5,000 feet to think that just because we were reaching out to him, he was going to be honest with us. You know what I mean? Not saying that he shouldn't have been. I'm not justifying it. I'm not saying he shouldn't have been. But, maybe it's because of my experience. You know what I'm saying? There was no need to reach out to this guy while this is happening because he's not going to tell you the truth. You know, if he is lying, he's not gonna say, okay. You know what I'm saying? I think what happened was after we started chipping away at different things and it was starting to fall apart, it was like, okay, now the gig is up. Let me say something. But yeah, I mean, it's the variety of emotions that people have for this. I agree with Storm are justified. And I know people want questions and they want to dig more into this. I will say this, that if you haven't already, if you're not too mad, if you haven't already, he released a version of the footage where he's not, trying to make it look like it's a leak. It's the direct footage in 4K, I believe it is. It looks amazing. It looks even more impressive. It looks amazing. I would definitely check it out, and to see that he did this by himself, even with some of the jank, it's even more impressive. So with that said, Storm, I do want to bring something else up here. Excuse me. I said earlier that I didn't think while all this was unfolding, it was important, or I want to say it wasn't important, but while this was all unfolding, I didn't think that we were going to get full honesty from him contacting him while all this was unfolding. You know what I mean? Whether it was true or not. It would have had to have been a takedown notice or him coming out and saying something officially on the record and not just, backroom conversations. However, after all this has unfolded and people have talked about it, we do see the wide range of people who have their heart broken, we're seeing in the chat, to people that are impressed. I think there's still more questions to be answered. And I said this in the Twitter spaces that we did. So I want to let everybody know that the surprise comment or the surprise news is tomorrow, the same time that this show started, we are actually sitting down with Mr. Christopher Turner. He will be here on Stadia Dosage for a special interview that we are making episode 72. So this is going to be the first time ever in Stadia Dosage's history that we're going to have 2 episodes back to back. So if you look on your screen, we already got the thumb set up. Christopher Turner will be here on Stadia Dosage, 3 p.m. tomorrow, to talk about this whole ordeal. Like we say, Why did he do this? Does he have any regrets? His influences and more? Don't miss the big one-on-one interview for answers. Because I'm curious. I want to know, why, what's going on here, and share some of the community's anger and some of the community's surprise at the quality at this thing. So be here 3 p.m. tomorrow, if you're not too angry, for this special one-on-one interview with Christopher Turner, the guy behind the fake Mandalorian video. Storm, what are your thoughts on this one-on-one? What are you looking to hear from Chris?
Hey, look, man. What I saw seemed to be genuine, sincere. He didn't sugarcoat it. Sometimes people do worse and don't apologize at all. Yeah. So I think everybody deserves a second chance, man. I think he's already learned from this. Like I said, MM2K, if you put something out of this magnitude, the repercussions and all that stuff, right? The ramifications. Hey, you take that one on the chin, man, and it looks like he's prepared to take that one on the chin, as well as wanting to showcase the talents that he has, man, that a lot of people did appreciate. So that's why I say it's two-sided, man. I can't be mad at him. I don't know him. It's good that he's willing to sit down on here at Stadia Dosage and everything and break down his thoughts and all that stuff, man. I do plan on being in attendance, giving my feedback in the chat and everything. So I think it's going to be a good discussion, man.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, again, look, some people may feel, MM2K, don't give him the spotlight that he wants and all this other stuff. Other people may feel that they want questions to ask him. I will say, I'll save that for the interview. When I reached out after the Twitter Spaces, because I was surprised too, Storm. I was surprised at the reception that his work got. So I said, you know what, maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to talk to this guy and get him to more flesh out what was going on here and have him answer to the community for some of the good and the bad that's occurred around this.
Man, we got Dirt Griggity in the building. What up, Doe?
Shout out to Dirt Griggity. He said, what up, Doe, MM2K? Thank you for the $5, Dirt. Appreciate it. When I reached out to him, the first thing that he said, even before he knew that I wanted to talk to him, was he did express remorse and regret. And he said that he loves this community and he's really remorseful about what happened. I didn't even propose to him talking to him. He just thought I was somebody reaching out to him about what he did. You know what I'm saying? So, again, it'll be interesting to see. It'll be an opportunity for you, the community. Again, if you're angry, let them know that you're angry. I had a conversation with my sister yesterday. We had some family stuff going on. I had a conversation with my sister yesterday about some serious family stuff. And I was breaking down to her that I'm free of the family junk. Y'all let the family and some of their little crazy behind the scenes stuff bother y'all because y'all don't speak up. Like my brother Storm, he speaks up. You know what I mean? Like he don't just sit on stuff. If something is bothering him or if he thinks it needs to be addressed, he speaks up. I'm telling you, that's the best way to live. You know what I'm saying? To not just sit on stuff because it causes stress. So if you're angry about this, don't just crinkle your face up. Oh, the hell with that mock-up. Let them know. After me and him talked for a little bit and I got a little bit more insight on bro, I'm not going to say that I'm like, oh, wow, now I fully understand what he's saying. I'm going to leave that up to y'all. But after I talked to bro, he was like, yeah, I need to talk. I need to deal with the people and take the heat. He's willing to take the heat. So come on and bring it. We're gonna have an adult conversation. So final thoughts, Storm, before we move on to the last topic.
Nah, that's about it, man. That's about it right there for that one.
Yep. So we're
going
to have
tomorrow, y'all. Tune in tomorrow. 3 Eastern MM2K.
Yep, 3 p.m. same time. 70. You got episode 71, which is already fire. Hit that like button, share it out, and then you're gonna get episode 72 tomorrow, man. So definitely, thank you very much. I appreciate all of y'all. All right, so let's get back. Now let's get to some video. I want to see some gameplay. I I need a palate cleanser, Storm, with all that mucky Dark Riders and ARK gameplay. I need to see some smooth Stadia gameplay, so we got it on the screen right now. All right, our last subject that I want to talk about is it was heartwarming for me to see this, Storm. And what am I talking about here? Let me do this. I want to put this up here, and then I want to put this up here, and then, you know how we do. Let me show you something. Okay, I would. Now I don't want to work. Let me show you something. Let's do it again. What the hell's wrong with my? All right, let me get out of here. Let me come back in here because my thing was embarrassing me. It wasn't working. All right, now this is a tweet. Well, no. Let me back up a little bit, Storm. Because I'm going to ask for my own damn flowers. I'm going to ask for my own damn roses right now. My brother Storm needs his roses. My brother Stadia Rev needs his roses. Snow Bunny needs her roses. PNTS Network all together, damn it, we need our roses. Why? Because you may say a lot of things about us. You may say we're jackasses. You may say that we're fanboys. You can call us this, that, whatever. But what you cannot call us are liars. We are not liars. We're not going to lie over video games. We're going to keep, like we kept it real earlier about Stadia, even though this is our preferred platform, we're going to keep it real about everything else. Now, I sat here and told you all for several months that I've had the opportunity to rub elbows with some of the biggest content creators out there. Shout out again to the homie Dirk Griggity out there doing the damn thing with We Bleed Green. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out.
We all go back and forth in private in DMs or whatever and talk and stuff like that. So when I bring a lot of this stuff to the mic, I'm not pulling it out of my rear end. This is stuff from seasoned people that have been doing this for a long time, and stuff that we can learn from as a new community, a lot of us whom just got back into gaming, and this is the first time that we're doing this. So when I'm giving y'all the statistics, the attach rates, all this other stuff, it's from being with brothers like this. Tim Dog, my bro, out here in the game. He says, MM2K and I have rip-roaring arguments and DM group, but we always keep it within those bounds. That's the difference. We understand we are people with opinions like it should be. Number one rule is to never make it personal. Now, why did I put that out there? Because I'm telling y'all that when you get a comment like that and this from my brother Tim Dog, it means a lot. Mars Needs Tacos put this, Tim first put out a tweet that says, guess what? I love all gamers. Shout out to the homie RG of the Stadia community. Shout out to you, brother. I be seeing you out there. He says, even Stadia gamers? And Tim said, yeah, he put out a comment where he said, me and MM2K, I love his passion for the platform. And so Mars Needs Tacos put this out there. He says, I have a gigabyte internet on a mesh network, play Stadia, and xCloud on wire connections. xCloud is significantly worse for input lag and hit detection due to how it handles frame rate compensation and is generally slower. You can like something and still critique it. And what did my brother say? Y'all can see it on the screen. Tim Dog, y'all know Tim Dog. He is the ultimate Xbox fanboy. And even he had to say, what? I agree. I think Google has an edge here. Why is this important? Because for two things. Number one, after we've told people to just stand by, still be honest, still critique where you need to critique fathomably, like how me and Storm just did. But stand by. Don't fall for all the BS articles. Don't fall for all the naysayers and the haters and all that other stuff. Stadia is here for the long term. And when you look at their long game, them and Amazon, they're not going anywhere. They have streaming platforms that will take them to the billion gamers that they need alone without regular retail. You just slap Luna on Twitch and say, if you want to play against Ninja, you know what I'm saying? Ninja will bring you in the game, but you got to be on Amazon Luna. You got to play Battlefield through there. And with Stadia several years from now, oh, you want to play against PewDiePie? He'll bring you in the game if you want to play Call of Duty, but you got to have Stadia there. Right now, Stadia is doubling its, not Stadia, but YouTube gaming. It has doubled its viewership from 200 million to 400 million between 2018 and 2020. Just in 2 years, they doubled. So they might double in another 2 years. If that cycle keeps up, they'll be at 1,000 gamers by 2024, 2026. I mean, not 1,000, 1 billion gamers. That's just off of streaming alone. So with that said, my brother Tim Dog understands that they have, he said in another tweet, they have a heartbeat, they have an edge here, and people are starting to realize that despite all that naysayer stuff that was going on by these articles, that Stadia is still here to stay. They're still building. They just had the keynote. All this stuff is going on, and now people are they're stopping a lot of their denial. There was this from Tim Dog, and then there was also this from a guy by the name of Ho Young Won, who is actually a fan of Xbox Cloud Gaming, but he also had to give the edge to Google Stadia and said, look, these platforms are so young and they're so cheap. Why not have both? He said, I'm going to have Stadia for my a la carte purchases and have xCloud for my subscription needs. We're going to start seeing a lot of this, people. This is what we've been telling you. Me and Storm have been telling you. Storm, what are your thoughts on this turnaround from certain sectors that you wouldn't expect from in regards to Google Stadia?
Well, MM2K, we called it, man. Honestly, you remember that we did. We called that some people would see the true light. They would see why we are out here being beacons and trying to do the best we can for this platform and the technology. It's about more than just Stadia. It's about the technology. It's about cloud gaming. It's about what this could offer gamers, just like mobile gaming is doing right now. It's about taking it up a notch with 5G and all of this stuff, right? So that's what I feel is the most rewarding for me out of all of this stuff. Shout out to Tim Dog, man. Could have done a lot of different things. Like MM2K, I'm glad you showed a glimpse of what you keep talking about and what we keep trying to let people know, man. The people that we, that and people will be surprised by who subscribed to my channel, man. Mm-hmm. Me, Project Storm, just a brother dropping Stadia content, man. You would be Levon stopped by. He's one of them. You know what I mean?
Shout
for example. And man, there's some people out there that's bigger YouTube. I'm like, yo, for real, thank you, man. I appreciate you. So all of this stuff that we do is really a brotherhood for real, man. I can't even say it any other way. It's like we listen to so many content creators, and they might not have any idea M2K. So that's so big. It's huge, man. Yeah. I want to go back to, like, first of all, Twisted Barber in the chat gave each Twisted one of us a flower, man. He gave us our flowers, man.
Thank you, Twisted. I appreciate it, brother.
Network.
Shout out to G-Million too. Yes, thank you.
One for Project Storm, one for Rev, one for Snow Bunny Gaming. That's beautiful. That's beautiful, Twisted Barber. I appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it.
Everybody else that just joined, we appreciate y'all too, man. MM2K, this has been a hell of a eye-opening show, and I knew it would be, bro. But when it goes back to, like, see, when somebody that has the following that Tim Dog has, bro, because I know, and you so humble, I would have been like, yo, check out how many followers he has just on Twitter. Like, these are the conversations, and a lot of you might appreciate the work that this content creator does, man. But what makes this special is that he had enough, I don't want to say the word, balls or anything like that, but MM2K, he had the audacity to go ahead and drop that with the follower he has. All the bots, man. Some feverish X bots over there. And he put that out there. It goes beyond the fanboyism. It goes beyond toxicity that you hear about and all that stuff, bro. That's what I'm talking about right now. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what else is a beautiful thing to see. That's Wrist Locks, man. Big supporter of PNTS Network and what we be doing out here, man. Wrist Locks, we appreciate you, bro. Drop that $5 super chat and say, y'all doing good work. Hashtag Stadia, man. That's what it's about at the end of the day.
Yep. Thank you, Rich Locker. Appreciate it, bro. I even in response, Storm had to put this out there. I said, this is 1,000% real footage of me and my bro Tim after rolling in the mosh pit.
Yeah,
in the
I saw
DMs.
that. That was funny as hell.
That's my bro. That's
And
my
it
bro
looked
Tim,
like y'all, man. And
That's
look,
my
if
bro,
that's
Tim.
you, that is definitely you with the Freddy Krueger. You can't see it. It's a little colors off, but the Freddy Krueger shirt, boy, MM2K. You know what I mean? That's my
bro Tim. No, I'm gonna keep it real with you. We've done like my, Storm. All of us at PNTS, you know what I'm saying? We're close. Of course, my brothers at Triple B, love them. But outside of that circle, I've dealt with a lot of content creators, and they get weird, man. They get weird.
Yeah.
They backstab. They do a whole bunch of stuff, man. Arrogant, whatever. But I'm gonna tell you, outside of my circle that I work with, Tim is the realest, man. Shout out to Randolph Thor too. That's my bro. But Tim is the realest. That's been my bro. Like every time, man, we've had some. I don't want to say heated because it was never personal, but we really like. We really like we go at each other. Like that's my bro. Like if I could show y'all these DMs, it'd be crazy. And people be chiming in, throwing in their 2 cents or whatever. And then at the end of it, we say, yeah, but love you, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like Tim is real.
Right.
Tim is loyal. He's real. He showed it this past week when Danny Pena from Gamer Tag Radio, and what I feel, and this is just my opinion, be better, like one of those holier than thou type of tweets came up my bro Tim because him and J Dubs was going at it. And Tim, I think, handled like a pro. He's like, look, I'm going to be friends with who I'm friends with. If you don't like it, block me or mute me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is me and my friends going back and forth, and the people that like seeing this stuff doing it. If you don't like it, turn it off. There's not one way to do this. We're not going to operate like a conveyor belt here. And I appreciate my bro Tim for that. He's real. He's always going to be real. But it just says a lot that someone like him is acknowledging Stadia. You know what I'm saying? And we might get a surprise. I want to tell y'all this. I think I can say this now. I don't think you'll mind. Remember a couple months ago when I told y'all we was going to have a surprise person come on here, an Xbox guy? It was going to be Tim. That really would have shook the house down. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a lot of people, Storm, thought that I was just capping, making it up, that I really don't be rubbing my elbows with these people. Right. You know what I'm saying? They thought maybe I was just jiving. And I was just going to surprise people, bring Tim on, and just blow everyone's socks off. I'm going to talk to Tim. I want to make sure he's tried the platform thoroughly. And then once I've checked out that he's tried the platform thoroughly, then I'll bring him on and we'll talk about it. And it won't be no fanboy stuff. It'll be some honest questions. I'll see if I can get Rand on too. You know what I'm saying? I think it'll be a good show. It'll be a great show.
I agree.
Me, Storm, Rand. If y'all want to see it, put ones in the chat. Me, Storm, Rand, and Tim Dog. I think that'd be a hell of a show. You know what I mean?
Thanks,
so, with that said, Storm, there was also the Ho Young video. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see that?
You know what I caught? I can't remember if I caught the whole thing, but I definitely saw the title and stuff. MM2K. Okay. I know what you're talking about.
Yep.
He compared Stadia to xCloud, right?
The xCloud, yeah.
Yeah, I watched that whole thing. Yep, I watched the whole thing, bro.
Now, we don't agree with his assessment on everything.
Right.
But I think, like, with the media, they're going to prefer Xbox, right? Because they're more established. They're giving them all the swag and all this other stuff. And, and this whole game subscription thing, that's what the media loves, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we still expect them to do their job, which is have a reasonable amount of knowledge on the platform and at least can acknowledge its offerings. And I'm talking about Stadia. And I think that this is what from this individual, from Ho Young, this is the type of response that I expected from the media. I prefer xCloud. However, there might be a lot of you that prefer Stadia because Stadia offers this, that, and the other. But I feel like most of us were going to prefer this. This is what I would expect the media to say, because even though they have their own personal preference, I would still expect them to do their homework for the most part. Now, is it perfect? No. But I think it's concise enough to where, with the information they were equipped with, they did a fair analysis and they looked outside of their own personal preferences. Storm, what did you think about it?
I thought it was good, man. And there's nothing wrong with him leaning towards the service that he prefers. First of all, I want to say that, man. You know, He broke down some whys, and I always
Mm-hmm.
ask people to do that. MM2K when they're writing the articles or putting these videos out there, break down the
Yep.
whys and the hows and when, whats, and wheres and all that stuff, right? Because then it gives me a better idea of why you're feeling the way you do at the end of your video. And I watched that whole thing,
Yeah.
and he gave Stadia his credit for the technology and everything. However, he's like the majority of the people we come across when it comes to Game Pass and xCloud and stuff. They love the fact that they could play those Xbox games, man. And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that, bro.
Yeah.
So overall, I thought it was a good video. I didn't walk away from that video like, yo, I can't dig your take or whatever. Or it's
Yeah.
not. I could even share the video. It's one that
Yeah.
I could share because it's
Yep.
it's somebody that's really tried the platform out.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I enjoyed it. And the purpose of that is, I think it's a concise video. I think it's a fair video, but I think more importantly, again, that is the response that I expected from the media. Even with their I prefer xCloud, but come on, let's not deny here. Let's be honest here. Stadia's doing this now, so it's good. So it's good to see this stuff now, even though it's maybe several months too late. It's good to see this stuff now. I'm glad that we're seeing it now, and I'm glad we're seeing it from I keep forgetting his name, Ho Young. I'm glad that we're seeing it from Ho Young, and I'm glad we're seeing what we saw from Tim. And we're starting to see other publications come out and at least try to acknowledge Stadia. They just got to get their knowledge base up. You definitely got to get your knowledge base up. And what I would recommend that you guys do, that if you're not familiar with the platform, even if you still at the end of the day prefer xCloud, watch Ho Young's video. He breaks it down concisely and really, better than I recommend watching the video, but better than watching the video is trying it out your damn self. All you got to do is go. I'm gonna show everybody right now. Play Destiny 2 Stadia. I do this all the time. This is how I got Levon Kaysen and all them. I backed him up into a wall.
How did you get Doc? Did you get Doc like that?
No. How I got Doc was I just called him. I hit him up. What was I doing, Storm? I just got done talking to you. Me and you just got done rapping about something, right? And then so me and you hung up, and then I'm watching videos, and I see Doc come up there, and Doc was like, he was talking about cloud gaming, and he was like, yeah, because Stadia's, doesn't run well and all this. I was like, oh, really? And me and you was just talking about doing more giveaways. We always talk about giving away money. As long as we got the cash, as long as we got the liquid assets, the liquid swords, me and Storm is always swinging the liquid swords.
I came in like, yo, when can we give away something, man? For the people.
Yes.
For the chat.
He surprised me with a couple giveaweys. Yes.
Yeah, man.
As long as we got, but we've had to revamp what's it called, and I sucked a lot of our resources dry. But we're gonna bring it back up because now we're done. But we're always trying to do giveaways. So me and Storm was just talking about a group of giveaways we were going to do for the community, just counting up the coin, making sure we had it. And I saw this video from Doc, and I'm like, yo, Storm. I hit Storm up later, and I'm like, bro, I think I'm gonna send this cat. Like, we're gonna put him in the hot seat. I'm gonna send this cat a CCU, and I think I got Storm's blessing, and then we sent it, and then the rest is history. Now he's a cast member on damn the Commission podcast, and the Stadia community loves him. You know what I'm saying?
But if you look at it, man, we get into these fiery topics, these fiery debates and stuff where it seems like we want to go just burn everything green down and stuff, right? That's how it might sound. But at the end of the day, when you got people like Doc Dark and Dirk Griggity and Tim Dog and all of these people that can take time to even think Stadia, when we know where their hearts lie. That's what it's all about at the end of the day. I even have an Xbox Series X. I showed it on the recent video, man, my Dirt 5 Stadia 8K video, where I showcased the screen, 82-inch 8K TV, my speakers and stuff, a little bit in my room, my junky-ass room that I need to do something with right now. I got a lot of boxes and stuff, man, because I hold on to my boxes until I know I want to keep a certain product. This TV ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? The subwoofers and stuff ain't going nowhere. The RTX 3080 is not going anywhere, MM2K. So I think it's safe to go ahead and tidy it up, man. Yep. But yeah, you get my point, though, right? Like, Absolutely. It's still all love at the end of the day, and that's how it needs to be.
Yep. I want to show people something real quick before we wrap up. If you got a naysayer in your camp, like how I had. I think LeVon broke wide. He's like, oh no, he called me out. If you got a naysayer in your camp, all you got to do is go Google Destiny 2 Stadia and find this link. It's stadia.google.com, games Destiny-2, some other stuff in there too. However, find that link, give them this link, and tell them you can test out Stadia right now with Destiny 2, no money down, no strings attached. Try it out. And if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. Everybody that tried it out that day, Storm, loved it. They were like, you know what? We can't. There's another high-profile Xbox person. I'm not going to spill the beans on him because we were all having this conversation in private. They said, you know what? I can't deny it. The Stadia tech is phenomenal. I can't deny it. You know what I'm saying? And that's all we're saying is like we want to we want the standard bearer to be what Stadia is doing. Give Stadia its flowers. Now all we need is games and technology like this, and cloud gaming is going to skyrocket. But it's going to be a process. That's all we're saying. We're not saying that, oh, phooey, forget xCloud, oh, phooey, forget Luna, whatever. We're saying, look, everybody that wants to bypass Stadia and act like performance means nothing, you're playing a fool's errand. That's not true. You need performance and the games. So the average gamer doesn't feel like that they're losing something serious when they switch to cloud gaming. They got to feel like that they're gaining all the way around. And you don't do that without the performance. We may be satisfied with playing pixelated 1200p here and there on certain platforms or whatever. The average gamer's not going to be happy with that. So in order for our passion, cloud gaming, to go where it needs to go, we got to get the games, yes, and we got to have that performance. Don't overlook what Stadia is doing. It's very, very important in the whole cloud gaming spectrum. Before we close out, Storm, you got any final thoughts, bro, on any of this?
Nah, man, that's pretty much it. I think we got into a good discussion today, man, especially when it came to ARK. Time just flew by. You know, I knew it was going to be deep when it came to the pro games, but check out those pro games, y'all. I just want to say this before we wrap. Like, check out all those games and be the gamer that you are. You know, we always say it, don't try to be us. You know, be yourself, game how you want, and don't hate us for our opinions, and we'll try not to do the same. You know, some people just go wild and like, hey, we need Stadia to get this game right now and all that. But, you know, at the end of the day, man, it's still a platform that's growing, y'all. You know, we just hold it accountable like we would anything else. So if you hear MM2K talking Xbox this and that, or myself talking that, or PlayStation this, Nintendo this, you know, even PC at times, you know, it's with the love for gaming at the core. You know, I just wanted to say that.
No, absolutely. Totally agree, man. And again, you hear us a lot of times, wrist locks for all. You earned your wings today, bro. You hear us a lot of times praising the platform because we know what the platform is, and we're happy with it. When we think that they need to make improvements, we'll say it. You know, but it's all for the sake of you on the other end of this. Stadia has something great to offer. We're not going to sit there and turn a blind eye when we feel like it's being shortchanged, whether it's from a journalist, a community member, or a developer, or a publisher, or Stadia themselves. You know what I'm saying? We feel like that this technology can really catapult gaming and really make gaming unique, and uniqueness in gaming has been missing for a long time. We're just getting prettier polygons and sprites. You know what I mean? And we really need something innovative to really, like, you know, add an extra jolt to gaming. So we're not doing all this fussing. Maybe we could do more playing. And Stadia, I think, is key to all that, the performance at least. So we just want to make sure that it's not getting shortchanged. Again, whether it's a journalist, someone in the community, a developer, or even Stadia themselves, like how we had to call it today. So, and that's it. With that said, thank you all so much for joining us. I want to remind everybody once again, tomorrow, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I get to sit with Mr. Christopher Turner, the guy responsible for the fake Mandalorian game footage. He's going to sit down and he's going to talk to you guys, and we're going to ask him questions about why he did it. Does he have any regrets? What are his influences as it relates to, gaming or anything altogether, and a whole bunch more. And then we're going to be your questions. You're going to be asking him in the chat. He said that he knows that he has to answer to the community. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right. With that said, thank you all so much for your support. Storm, before we go, we're going to go to the after party, by the way. And in the after party, we're going to talk about the fact that Stadia's wasting money on ports. But Xbox paid $100 million for timed exclusivity when it came to Rise of the Tomb Raider. I want to talk about that. And whatever else my brother Storm got to talk about. We're going to talk about that for a few moments. So join us in the after party directly after this. As a matter of fact, here, let me give you a link.
I can tell you why you're doing that, man. It's going to be a real heart-to-heart. My heart is opening when it comes to the Stadia tech, because I think some people understand where we come from when we talk about the tech of this platform. That blows my mind, man. That gives me chills at times, y'all. So it's very important that, we don't lose sight, some of us that care about it. Only the ones who care about it, So it's going to be, I have something to bring up about that as well.
Absolutely. Storm, where can the good people find you at, brother?
All right, you can find me right here on YouTube, Project Storm. Just look for the avatar, type in Project Storm Stadia, Project Storm 8K, Project Storm whatever, and you will find me. Just, again, look for the avatar. And then on Twitter, you can find me at the Nephophiliac. That's where I'm over there, always retweeting, dropping content and stuff. So that's the easiest way to catch me when I'm live, because I don't follow a set schedule because of work, life, family, and all that stuff. It's hard for me to do a set schedule. And some days, honestly, MM2K, I want to go live 7 or 8 times because there's so many games that dropped or something, man. Or I might be so into a game. So you gotta subscribe, you gotta follow if you want to catch some of that good stuff. And I will be dropping a host of 8K videos like I did, 8K Dirt 5 for Stadia, y'all. Let's go.
Absolutely. All right, and with that said, you can, of course, find me here. You can find me on MM2K videos. There won't be a commission podcast tomorrow because I got to do some final brushing up on the website, and we definitely can't hold it now because I got to prep for this interview tomorrow. So the commission is going to be back next week. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And, you can find me on MM2K videos. You can find me on Stadia Dosage News, Stadia Dosage Streams, Stadia Dosage Plus. And then also check out our content on the new coming website. I'm not sure the website as you know it might go down over the weekend, just in case you guys are curious. You like to go check out our content there. It's going to go down over the weekend, and then we're going to bring it back up either Sunday or Monday. So, and shout out to Twisted Barber with the $10 sticker. We appreciate it. Thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. Yeah, you guys supporting us. We don't go out here jingling in the can, but you guys supporting us makes this all happen. If it wasn't for your support, none of this would even be possible. So we appreciate it. And thank you so much. And whatever you guys can offer will really go a very long way. All right, Storm.
And let me say this, man.
Yes, sir.
See,
yes, sir.
A lot of times you hear us out here, you hear me talking 8K and all that stuff, man. But one thing you got to do is you got to go back in the history books and see what we did with the giveaways and all that stuff. You know what I mean? This is what we do. Yes, I work. Yes, I have a wife that works. Yes, she has a credit card just like M2K's wife, and we use them. We will use the credit card, so don't let it fool you. Don't let the 8K fool you. My wife has something to do with that as well. That's all I'm going to say, y'all. But we appreciate y'all, man. It's been a hell of a ride today, and I just wanted to say that, y'all. Peace, though.
Yep. All right. And with that said, thank you all so much. Appreciate you so much. And join us in the after party. We got some things to talk about. Until next time, have a wonderful, wonderful gaming day. Peace.